This message, entitled Road to Recovery, has been prepared in the shadow of COVID-19. Globally, cumulative coronavirus cases at the end of July have reached more than 16 million and 650,000 people have died. More than one-third of these deaths were fellow Europeans. Our continent's vulnerability and lack of strategic preparation was on full display after the crisis first hit. One after another, whole states went into lockdown, their economies into meltdown, and their borders were closed down. We've a lot of lessons to learn from the first phase of COVID-19. We do not know how long or how deep the consequences of this pandemic will be. We do not know how quickly or how slowly people will adjust their post-lockdown behaviour as governments ease restrictions. We do not know how permanent some of the damage will be. We do not even know if the worst is over or still yet to come in later phases. What we do know is that every official economic forecast suggests that we stand on the threshold of a deep economic downturn. Some refer back to the Great Depression for an analogous situation. But unlike then, trillions of euros of fiscal stimulus are being poured into economies, and central banks are continuing unprecedented levels of monetary easing and extremely low interest rates. Faced with this moment of truth, the European Council agreed the multi-annual financial framework for 2021 to 2027. This amounts to 1,074.3 billion euros, just over 1 trillion euros. Within this, TEN-T will be funded through the Connecting Europe Facility, CEF2, and through military mobility. The amounts allocated are 21.384 billion for CEF2, of which 10 billion will be for cohesion states, and 1.5 billion for military mobility. To be unlocked, the MFF package still must be agreed and voted by the European Parliament. For the first time ever, the Council also authorised the European Commission to borrow funds on behalf of the Union on the capital markets. These proceeds will be transferred to Union programmes under the Next Generation EU initiative. This amounts to a total of 750 billion euros in 2018 prices. These funds will be in addition to the MFF. The bulk of the new borrowed funds will be spent through the Recovery and Resilience Facility, in effect the EU's COVID crisis response. 360 billion euros will be transferred in the form of loans, and 312.5 billion euros will transfer in the form of grants. 70% of these grants will be front-loaded to 2021 and 2022. The remaining 30% will be fully committed by the end of 2023. To access these new funds, Member States will be expected to prepare a national recovery and resilience plan, setting out their reform and investment agendas for the years 2021 to 2023. The recovery and resilience plans will be assessed by the Commission. Effective contribution to the green and digital transition shall be a prerequisite for a positive assessment, according to the European Commission. Every ScanMed state will qualify for assistance, with Italy set for very substantial transfers commensurate with the shock it suffered because of the COVID pandemic. There will be no sectoral earmarking of funds. So, a priori, transport is neither included nor excluded for the new funding resources. However, if, for example, 10% of the new grants ended up in the transport sector, this would amount to 31 billion euros, spread differently throughout the member states, but it would be larger than the entire CEF2 planned expenditure for 2021 to 2027. So this message is a wake-up call. I'm asking you today to think, how can COVID-19 be turned into an opportunity and an accelerator? For example, by encouraging some continuity of home telework or a teleworking office mix that lessens peak infrastructure demands. Consider proposing urban regeneration, such as pedestrianisation or cycle lanes. Why not seek to develop contactless e-freight and digital deepening? Good for efficient logistics and good also for human health. We need 4,000 kilometres of trackside ERTMS technology. We need 35,000 ECTS equipped locomotives. These will pave the way for the future and will require a massive industrial programme. Why not put some of these into national recovery programmes? Strategic autonomy and new intra-EU supply and logistics chains may be one consequence of COVID-19. If so, identify which are the sectors, what are the issues, and what will be the transport and logistics spillover. Promote accelerated rollout of alternative fuel infrastructures. In short, ask yourself, how can you convert our 10T work plan into a pipeline of recovery leading projects? We need to identify faster track targets. You need to get these prioritised in your national EU recovery plans. This can put us on the road to recovery and also assure the realisation of our 2030 objectives. Thank you for your attention.